Your application was refused, and now you're thinking about a reconsideration request. Before you send anything to IRCC, it is important to understand what reconsideration actually means, when it may be useful, and what it may not help with. Hi everyone, my name is Kohinoor Devroy. I'm a regulated Canadian immigration consultant based in Edmonton, Alberta. So a reconsideration request is not the same as simply saying as I disagree with the officer. IRCC has described the reconsideration as an informal recourse option where an applicant asks IRCC to reconsider a decision. The decision maker has discretion to decide whether the situation justifies reopening the previous decision or not. So the first step is always to carefully read the refusal letter. The refusal letter tells us why the application was refused. So this is a very important step. For some application types, IRCC also has started providing something called an officer decision notes with refusal letters, which can help applicants like yourself to better understand the reasoning of the officer, why this was done. So before you think about reconsideration, do not react in certain ways. First, understand why the officer refused the application. The second aspect is a reconsideration request may be useful when there is a clear issue with the decision. For example, IRCC notes that reconsideration may be justified where there was a failure to follow natural justice or procedural fairness, or where there was a clerical error. Simply being unhappy with the decision is not just enough. Another reason is administrative error. So this can happen when the officer missed, overlooked, or misread something that was already there in the application. For example, if you submitted a document, but the refusal says the document was missing, based on which the refusal was made, that may need to be re-reviewed carefully. If the officer refused the application based on something that was already answered or documented, that may be a possible reconsideration issue. Another reason we could think of looking at is something is called, which is a procedural fairness issue. So procedural fairness means the applicant should have a fair opportunity to respond to serious concerns before a negative decision was made. For example, if the officer has concerns about misrepresentation, credibility, document authenticity, and the applicant was not given a fair chance to respond, that may be important. Let that sink in. So if IRCC has a serious concern about but did not give you a fair chance to explain, or ignored your response to a procedural fairness letter, that can be an issue. The third, I believe, which reason was I? Third or fourth reason is like clear factual error. So sometimes the decision may be based on incorrect facts. For example, the officer may refer to the wrong employment letter history, wrong travel history, wrong family situation, or for that matter, incorrect document details. So if refusal is based on facts that are clearly wrong, a reconsideration request must identify the exact error and show the correct information from the file. Reconsideration is not only about like writing a letter. The quality of the request really matters. So I'll tell you, a strong reconsideration request should clearly explain some of the things that should be noted in the application. So the 5 things that I could think of at the top of my mind is what the officer decided. Like, go back to the procedural fairness letter, look at the decision and find out what was decided. That's one. Second is what specific error was made. What is that error based on which they are refusing it? Why are you seeking the reconsideration for? The third is where the correct evidence appears in the original application. Fourth, why the decision should be reopened. So that's a major one, because you, at the end of the day, you are asking the officer to reconsider a decision which was which has already been made by them. So why at the first place the decision should be reopened, and there should be a valid argument for that. Then why is this not just a disagreement with the refusal? That justification need to be provided. So the way you present the request really matters. A reconsideration request should be structured, factual, and evidence-based. It should not like sound emotional or general, or like pleasing, or requesting for anything. It should have hard facts. Do not confuse reconsideration with reapplication. This is important to note, because sometimes the better option is to reapply with a stronger evidence. IRCC says applying again with the same information will likely not change the decision. But if your situation has changed, or if you have documents that addresses those kind of refusal reasons, a new application may be a possibility. So if the officer was right and application was weak, reconsideration may not help. In this case, a better strategy is required.